right. See now. Where's the battery last? There we are. You can see me now. You join me in my flat, where I can be found most of the time these days. A bit like that chap who went on a journey around his room. Except I occasionally go through to the kitchen now and again. I dialed back the biscuits, okay? Besides, I need it. Stressful time of day, this. A moment. Oh! Well. Correspondence from my esteemed employer. Redemption Day. Who'd be an inventor? Running ahead of the pack, leaving space behind for others to move into, tugging at your shirt sleeves, trying to hold you back, resenting the sight of the soles of your feet. The thing that keeps me up at night is, if there's no one following behind you, keeping the pace you set, are you still leading the way? None so blind as those who will not follow. It was really good. My invention was fucking good. It got lost in meetings. They liked their meetings. There was collaborative meetings, creative meetings, innovation meetings to discuss the ideas from creative meetings. That led to efficiency meetings, which always overran. So at a brainstorming meeting, the output decided to get rid of all the chairs, which led to everyone speaking down to Bob in his wheelchair, which he saw as patronising. So at an HR meeting, they got back the chairs. Another brainstorming meeting later, they get rid of the tables, which leads to a load of back pain because everyone's using laptops on their knees. And a couple of health and safety meetings later, we discover that offices are the most dangerous places on earth. Plummeting morale leads to a culture and values meeting where one of the outcomes of that is to reward hard-working employees with slices of pizza and your choice of a fizzy drink. Eaten at your desk, of course, because no tables. Remuneration's so last century. Remuneration. Then we get a whole load of staff recruitment, so no time for the creative meetings. Oh, but I'm pleased to say the brainstorming meetings continued and they eventually reinstated the tables. Bob will be pleased. Well, he would have had he stayed. And through it all, Suzanne is typing down all manner of bollocks. I mean, fair enough, it's a creative meeting, some bollocks is to be expected. Might help with outside-the-box thinking, as they say. We're all thinking outside the box until we reach the big one. The coffin, I say. That gets written down and I get sent to a well-being meeting to see if I'm okay. Might I be depressed? Nothing a slice of pizza can't fix. So they send me back armed with a margarita and a can of Fanta. Peter, says Suzanne, virtue signalling does not align with our cultures and values. Unless you're fasting, there's no virtue to skipping lunch. I tell them about my invention in space and time. I've heard of space and time, says Suzanne. She should, she takes up enough of both. Albert Einstein, I say. She asks if we can summon him to a meeting. Sure. Have you got a Ouija board, a glass and an interpreter? That gets me sent to a culture and values meeting. Turns out my values don't align with the culture of the company. Who knew? Thing is, my idea. Have I told you? Right. My idea. Fucking genius. How many times have you been sitting in your chair? Fidget. Chair's not for you. You're not supported in the way you want to be. My idea's fucking abstract, like Cézanne. Not that they'd understand Cézanne from Suzanne from health and safety meeting. Is it culture and values meeting? Fuck knows. surrounded by a sea of Suzannes and swimming at me from all angles. And I'm like, fuck your soggy pizza, Suzanne! Ah! They slap it across my face. Ah! I peel the molten cheese from her cheek. And another Suzanne pours carbonated full-fat Fanta into my eyes. Ah! Reacts with the cheese. Blood sugar levels spike. Oh, supercharging my arms, which flail now like a wind turbine with hydraulic brake failure. Ah! I slay the Suzannes. Ah! Their limbs fly through the air like existential arrows without purpose. Even as the raining tomatoes turn their hair blood red. Yellow pips pitting their cheeks like atomic barnacles. They are a blur to me. Finally, there's one last Suzanne standing. I have her in my Fanta filmed eye. She's holding something. No, not a summons. No, anything but a fucking well-being meeting. She plays on my mind sometimes. What was I talking about? Invention! Yes. Every generation has got its own idea of a chair. In ancient Egypt, they've got the chaise longue, where you can sleep or you can sit. Centuries later, reappears in the Gilded Age in French boudoirs, and it's known as the lounger. 1600s, you've got the porter's chair with an optional back for keeping drafts off you. In 1740s, the Windsor moves from the fireside to the dining room and loses its arms, and around the same time, the step chair appears and doubles as a mini ladder. So, you've got chairs that adapt to the space and chairs that adapt to the time. Space and time got me thinking. A chair that's not there when you don't need it. A magnetic field. A column of coloured air. A force equal but opposite to that of your arse. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the fleeting seating, aka the sometimes sofa. What shall it be today, madam? The bubble? The bean? The bench? Reboot. The egg? The stool? The sling? Reboot. The lilo? The rocker? The couch? Reboot. All day? Anywhere? Everywhere. Reboot. The nowhere chair. Nowhere? Now here. See? Reboot yourself. Be the change. Fuck knows, we could all do with a bit of change. The change I had in mind, though, was more revolutionary. Revolutions don't always change the way you think, do they? There's always someone somewhere willing to compromise. Speaking of, what if there's a power cut, says Suzanne at the next meeting. Well, hope you didn't select the high chair option, I quip. So after emerging from the health and safety meeting, completed a height awareness module. Height fucking nonsense is what it is. What's with these people? Why are they so humorless? At least with Stalin's gulag, you only went there once. It's a P to sit chair, she says. It's wired to the meter. I'd like to wire her to the meter, turn on all the appliances and watch her eyeballs go round faster than the greyhounds at Shawfields. The smaller the arse, I say, the cheaper the bills. That was seen as financial negligence, so I ended up in a cost drivers meeting where the mantra less is more rang out like church bells on Christmas Day. Jargon bollocks. Unless, of course, they mean the CEO, who spends less and less time at work and gets more and more generous bonuses. So I can see why he says it. At the innovative meeting, Suzanne tells me they've gone ahead with my idea, which surprises me. Stress tested at the design review meeting. I wasn't at that meeting, I say. You were at the cost drivers meeting. I'm starting to suspect sabotage. I know. What took me so long?
It's like the Kodak situation, isn't it? Having invented the digital camera, they continue to flog your film. This company does a good trade in sofas, so rather than look at the bigger picture, they're content to discuss the merits of more cushions. Say what you like about my idea, properly powered down, you can't sit on it. You can't sit on what you can't see. With theirs, you can't sit anywhere for all the jaunty cushions taking up our space. Why design the brave new world when you can just plop out another velvet bolster?
We like your chair, not their idea, Suzanne says. The nowhere chair. But power consumption remains a concern.
So we've greenlit the PAC. The what? The pod armchair. A space-saver solution. The PAC self-inflates and comes in a variety of wonderful colours at the ordering stage. You're down as the designer. I don't want my name anywhere near it, I reply. It sounds like a steaming pile of shit. Language, she reprimands, is the least of your worries, I reply. This violates our culture and values. You may leave. Should have kept my mouth shut. The Suzanne-ometer reading is off the fucking scale at the hastily convened HR meeting. They're waiting on an answer to some question I've forgotten. Swivel, I say. In response to your question on self-improvement, I swivel on my chair. Not a feature in the nowhere chair currently. You are aware the company owns the right to the chair that isn't there. The nowhere chair. Company IP. Paragraph 16, section 3A of your contract. I'm being sat on. I respond with an equal but opposite force, passing an envelope to Suzanne 2. I say to Suzanne 1, have you ever considered putting yourself up for Inventor of the Year? Whatever for, she says. Suzanne 2 whispers in her ear, and the image of the Suzanne Hydra re-emerges. For creating a counterculture to invention. For creating a space where one's health is directly proportionate to one's ability to avoid welfare meetings, while operational costs spiral out of control. Less is more, I reply. In my head, it was always the hair that went red. Here, it was definitely her face. Suzanne, too, chipped in. You'll be summoned to a complaints committee meeting in due course. For now, wait at home. The meeting's tomorrow. What's the collective noun for a pack of Suzannes? A skulk? A shiver? A fever? A colony. The place is teeming with them. I summarised all the events. Fast forwarded through my life like a videotape, never pausing or playing. Not a thought for context. Who needs context when you've got pizza? You think I punched Suzanne? What have I been saying this entire time? Punch 1 in her face and 2 will take its place. Say what you like about my invention. Can't punch a chair that's not there. I know what you think of me. I see it in your eyes. But I don't need your pity, your concern, your bleeding heart. I don't need a shoulder to cry on or a cocked head in a therapy session. I don't need your charity, kindness. I just need you to follow. On all the usual platforms. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, like, subscribe, ring the bell. Yeah, I'm doing fine. In fact, I'm floating on air.